passive aggressive behind the wheel? Like, are you ever in behind somebody and you notice that after they lock eyes with you in the rear view mirror, they slow their pace to try to hold you up? Y'all, I just had that happen. Listen, this lady, I was behind this lady for like 2 miles. First of all, it's sad when I see that these people that act like this have children. It's really disheartening because they're teaching their children to behave the same way. People like that can have children. It's really scary. So 2 miles, I'm behind her. I'm like, damn, I need to get at McDonald's. I need a coffee. I haven't even had caffeine this morning, okay? So I need caffeine before I kill somebody, okay? And so I'm trying to get in here, and then she gets drive-through where there's 2 lanes. She gets to the drive-through lane, and she completely stops, preventing me from being able to order my coffee. So I drove around the dumb bitch. Sure did. Damn it, I hit my elbow again. This thing ain't gonna heal. So I drove around her and got in front of her at the drive-thru. Like, get over it. If you want to be passive aggressive and childish, I'll show you passive aggressive and childish, honey. Like, 2 can play that game. Like, she literally for 3 miles almost. I followed her for 2 miles, and then we get to where we have to make 2 different stops, go through stop signs. So I'm trying to get through the stop signs, and she's from doing that because she's in front of me. And I see her watching me out of her rearview mirror. How pathetic, y'all. How pathetic. How pathetic. And 1 children in the car teaching to behave this way. So I'm grabbing a coffee. And I get to the drive-thru, and I'm like, God, what a dumbass. I said it out loud. And then the girl on the drive-thru thing, the speaker, I said, ma'am, I am not talking to you. There you go. Thank you. Just the coffee. Y'all, I need to stay out of people's face with my wretched breath. Oh, your nails are so cute.
Thank you.
Have a good one. You too. See how some people are just nice, not assholes. So, yeah, I'm on the speaker and I'm like, God, people are such dumb. Or I said, what a dumbass. And then I realized that my window was down. So I'm like, she jumps on the speaker and I'm like, ma'am, I am not talking to you. I said, I am so sorry. Ah! I wanted to be like, that heifer 2 cars back with children in the car. Blah, 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 but I didn't. I'm nice. I should be, though. I should be a bitch. I should. Ow. I need coffee. So I'm going to say it's like 50-50. Thank
Hi, how are
you.
you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing pretty okay.
Yeah, it probably tickles. Have a good one.
You too.
Let's brush our teeth because I feel crazy, like with my mouth all nasty, like smiling at people. I know I got almonds in my teeth because I ate half a bag of almonds in my sleep last night. I'm kind of upset about the park. What a disappointment. I mean, seriously, though, it's one of those things where it could have been wonderful, but it's not. It's literally the type of place where you just go missing on a trail and there's nobody to help you because there's no park rangers. Like, you can get kidnapped and killed and there's nobody there to scream for help. Not good. Every park that I've ever been to had park rangers and other people, workers in the park. They usually have like a quarters where there'll be a cabin or something where they hang out. You'll see all of the city workers working there. This park was not like that. They didn't have any city workers whatsoever. Here, we're gonna cut this off. There we go. It usually helps just get all the idiots out of the room, you know. I think I feel better today because I actually got some sleep last night. I know I got peanuts in my teeth. Ouch. Stay. Y'all. Where'd the damn lid go? I might not have had a lid to this one. I don't know where. Y'all, I'm really bad about taking the caps off of stuff and then later finding them like under the seat and stuff. Oh my God, I was looking for this. Thank you, Jesus. For real, I was looking for this for like an hour. Thank God. It's kind of hot, even though it's not. It says it's 68, but inside this truck, it's every bit of 80 if the air is not. So even when it's cooler outside, it's still hot in here because it's blacked out. I had a friend of mine that just for the life of him could not understand that concept. It's like, he's like, but it's 55 outside. I'm like, yes, but inside my truck, it's 82. I don't know. I just know it's hot. Like, I don't make the rules. Science does. I mean, it's black, so that's why. I'm going to have some oysters for lunch. I'm actually craving girl lunch. Girl lunch! Y'all, tell me why when I was leaving that Walmart this morning, there were trash cans out all of a sudden. I don't know. I'm pretty quinky dink, you know. I've been here for a week, and then you and me talked about this trash can issue last night, and all of a sudden, after a week of them not having any trash cans out there, once I say something about it, there's trash cans out there the next morning. Make it make sense. Maybe they hired somebody to do that finally. I don't know. But I do know that it's pretty coinky dink. It's a coinky dink. Oh, did I get a coffee? I did. I was about to drink aminos from God knows when. But I got a coffee, so we'll do that. My hair. I'm going to wash it today. It's filthy. It's like disgustingly filthy. I haven't washed it since we worked. But it's looking good. You know? Okay. Damn, I bet there's a pound of sugar in there, but it's good. John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith. Damn, honey. Them iced coffees keeping you big as hell, though, you know? Horrible. Horrible. Satan in a cup, honey. That is Satan in a cup. Where is my computer? All right. I have so many job applications that I need to fill out. I also have to check my email. Why is this? What in the world? I had that Febreze back there. I think that when I put my seat back, oh my God, it is. I smell it. What in the ever-loving... Well, I mean, I ain't really ever cleaned it before. I don't know if Febreze is a viable cleaning solution for computers, but listen, We're just gonna work with what we got, honey. Oh, okay. Y'all, I don't know what I want to wear to work tonight. I get kind of bored wearing the same outfits over and over, and I only have so much. I think I'm going to take the green dress with my mermaid heels and my gold. I think I'm going to take my gold heels because I do like performing in them because they're longer, so they make me look taller, and like the taller the heel, the leaner you're going to look. Oh, it does work. Okay. My other one doesn't work. This one's completely dead. I just charged it. I just tried to hook it up to charge it. It won't even hit. Oh, it did a little bit. Nope. Yeah, it's dead. His name is my name too. Whenever we go, the people always shout, John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith. Ha 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 ha. I don't remember it. I don't know where that even came from. Oh, that would be a dope drumline beat. John Jacob. Do, 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 do. You just gotta, you know, imagine it. Let's see what's going on. Hold on, I'm gonna chill out. So an hour ago, they posted that the Georgia school shooting suspect expected to face more charges as accounts of students' heroism emerge. So I can only assume that they're talking about, I don't know if I told you this the other day, but so at some point he decided to take the gun out of his book bag because he had brought it to school with him. So he took the gun out, and it seemed that the teachers and students have recounted that he walked up to a classroom door with the intent of going in the classroom, but a student saw that there was a gun in his hands, and so the student locked the door and prevented him from coming through. Y'all, whew, God, I'm getting chill bumps. How scary. Imagine being that freaking student. So what he did was, is since he couldn't get into that one classroom, he went to the next classroom and opened fire. Now, he's already been charged with 4 counts of murder, and they're talking about more charges. So it says, I want to talk about the students. In one classroom, a 14-year-old kid said that she kept the suspect from getting through the door when she saw him pull out the gun. After a teacher in another classroom was shot, students say they pulled him back inside and used the girls' shirts off, used the shirts off their backs to try and stop the bleeding while barricading the door with desks and chairs. Even with a gunshot wound, one teenage boy said he raced to close the door to prevent the shooter from entering. And of course, like a coward, it says they've declined to enter a plea to the charges against him, so he's going to plead not guilty. Like, how stupid. Now, this says because of his young age, the maximum penalty that he can get is life in prison without parole. He's not eligible, y'all. The juvenile, he's not eligible for the death penalty, and I don't think that he should be. I think that is a product of his environment. So, with some other things that have come out recently about this, about Colt, is that his mother actually was a drug addict and of rehab, was never really in his life, and every time that she would pop up and try to be in his life, Colton, his father, would have to step in and intervene so that Colt wouldn't get hurt. So it sounds like she wasn't a very responsible woman. Not only that, it sounds like he didn't have any guidance from anybody. I mean, here's the thing. I understand the father wanting to take his son hunting. I understand the father wanting to teach his son how to use the guns. I understand wanting to bond with your children in this manner, okay? That it's a great way to bond with children. Hunting is amazing. I love hunting. I support hunting. What I don't support is this father's negligence, okay? Very clear negligence. If your son was just interviewed by the FBI at 14 years of age, the last thing that he needs to be around is firearms. So this is why this man was charged, because he bought this gun as a gift for his son after the FBI had already interviewed him for mass threats. Like he's on video games talking shit, and I know, and now it's not aimless threats because he did it. That was a warning call. That was a cry for help, so to speak, for lack of a better word. That was a cry for help, okay? And when the FBI showed up and interviewed both of these people, the son and the father, a missed opportunity. It says that Colin, I think it's, I keep saying Colton, but it's Colin, like Colin, like you're colon. I don't know. Colin, okay, Colin, Colin, listen. He's 54 years of age. It says he faces a maximum sentence of 180 years in prison over this, for 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, 2 counts of second-degree murder, and 8 counts of cruelty to children. It says an arrest for Mr. Gray alleges that he gave his son the firearm, quote, with knowledge that he was a threat to himself and others. Also, the father has declined to enter a plea, so I'm sure that he's going to go with not guilty. You know, let's talk about what the aunt said, and I'm going to show you what she said. Let's talk about it, because the aunt is unhinged as the father. I mean, nobody's taking responsibility for their actions, of course. Once again, a group of people that should have never had children, but they're allowed to. It's okay. So it says, aunt of alleged Georgia shooter speaks out. Now, she spoke out on Facebook, and as soon as she posted on Facebook, it was, the floodgates were open. People were pissed, and they have every right to be, because she was making this child out to be the victim, when in all actuality, he has caused he's killed people. He's caused victims. He has made victims out of his actions. It's on that phone. That sucks. I got to come up with a better form of keeping notes, because the phone that I'm recording on, and that's the phone that has all of the screenshots. I'm looking for her, what she said on Facebook. She pretty much said that none of this was his fault, that he was an innocent bystander, and it was because of the school system that he done this, and that he was bullied his whole life. And ma'am, that's not how that works. Sorry. That's not how that works. It looks like Times of India have a article on it. Her name is Annie Brown, and she's the aunt of Colt Gray. And it says that she defends him, citing mental health issues and a lack of support in the home as to why he completed the shooting. The aunt of Colt Gray, the 14-year-old accused of killing 4 people in Appalachia High School in Georgia, has strongly defended her nephew in the aftermath of the shooting. Annie Brown, in a series of since-deleted Facebook posts, warned that she would go, quote, full throttle against anyone criticizing the teen. Now we see where he got this behavior from. Okay, now we see. Okay, Annie, telling all the family secrets over here on Facebook. We see, quote, Brown vowed, quote, I will not leave my nephew standing alone. She also expressed frustration with the charges, saying, quote, they are charging my y'all, I'm so mad. They're charging my 14-year-old nephew as an adult for murder. Y'all hear that? Yes, we do, Annie. How about teaching your nephew not to go in schools and shoot him up and kill people because he's confused? Like, maybe talk to him like an adult and sit down and have real conversations. I can see by his picture that you weren't doing any of that. It seemed like you were living your own little fucking fairy tale life until he did this, and now you want to come to his beck and call. Like, y'all, these people are crazy. Every time we have one of these shootings, just like with the Crumbly case, it's just crazy to me how these children have slipped through the cracks of society. It is very clear that there is rampant drug use, there is abuse going on in the home, neglect. Like, it's just crazy how they just slip through the cracks. It's okay for people like this to have children. It's crazy. Crazy. And then the aunt, instead of being rational and apologizing for her nephew's actions, she absolutely should. He is a byproduct of that family. Crazy. So witnesses have described a chaotic scene, with one student recalling how Gray left their math class abruptly before returning armed. So this was more than premeditated. This was a mission. A teacher, noticing the weapon, prevented him from re-entering the classroom just before the shooting began. Like we had talked about, they had installed these panic buttons in the school like a week prior. There was a lock on the doors, and can I just say that I am so happy that some of these schools are starting to take measures to prevent things from happening, because God forbid, what if that teacher wouldn't have been able to lock that classroom door? What if there wasn't a panic button and the cops didn't get there as soon as they were able to this time? Look at Uvalde. Anybody remember that? Because I'll never forget that. Mass shooting going on, children being slain. And investigators and sheriff's department is just standing outside of the door with rifles, wasting precious time while more precious babies' lives were being slaughtered. Okay, they were being slaughtered. It genuinely pisses me off. So I'm glad that this school in Georgia is smarter than some of the other ones we've seen, because there's no excuse for it this day and age. People pay taxes, okay, and that money should be going to protect the students in these public schools, whether it's metal detectors, whether it's more armed security, whether it's locks on the doors, whether it's therapists and psychologists that are coming in and evaluating the students, because it seems like this dude, this little kid, had every red flag in the book, and everybody ignored them, just overlooked them. It's fine, it's nothing to worry about. But yet he was on a list. He was on an FBI watch list. They were constantly monitoring him. They were constantly monitoring him. And yet he still slipped through the FBI's cracks. These things are not to be taken lightly when there are children involved that have to go to these public schools and get their education. These things are not to be taken lightly. It seems like everybody's taking them so damn lightly. I'm really glad I didn't have to worry about this when I was a student, but this is definitely a pressure that these kids have on their mind every day. And imagine being, a kind of a loner in school and hearing these kids make these aimless threats every day. And then you have school providers, teachers, educators, resource officers. You go to them and you tell them, hey, this kid's doing this. He's saying that he's going to kill us all. And they just overlook it. And they're like, oh, he's just talking between his two front teeth. He ain't serious. I mean, it's sad that when I was dating a guy, one of the first things that I did was look into buying them book bag inserts, a bulletproof book bag inserts. And for the people that have kids that follow me on this channel, I want y'all to know that you can buy them on the internet, and they start at $50 up. They take different ballistics, like reinforcement of each book bag slide in. You can pick different strengths so that it protects against different calibers of bullets. I mean, how sad. I didn't even know that, but I was dead set on buying these kids inserts for the book bags because this is such a huge issue. And you can buy them online. And I think it's a level 1 or a level 3 that you should get. It's like the top. Like, it'll protect you against an AR-15 ammunition. It's the most expensive one. So this is Annie Brown talking, the aunt of Colt Gray, the shooter from Georgia. It says, in her social media post, Brown expressed her frustration with the situation, stating, quote, "When Uvalde happened, I told my own children that only hurt people, end quote. She added that she had done, quote, everything she could to fight for Gray, talking about Colt, the 14-year-old. Despite the severity of the accusations, Brown continued to express loyalty, saying that she would care for him and what he needed. She urged others to, quote, check themselves before speaking ill of him, highlighting the difficult circumstances she believed that he had endured. I have no doubt that his mother being a drug addict and his dad being, I don't know, unemotionally involved, like, that's just vibes that I get from his dad. Like, his dad was a hard ass. I can just see it, because, and you know how I know this, because I grew up with a hard ass dad too. So, like, I can just see that he didn't have the best circumstances. But once again, just because somebody hurts you does not mean that you get the right to go hurt others. Life doesn't work like that. You can, but that makes you just evil as the person that initially did it to you. You're just as bad. You're stooping to their level. I'm not saying his aunt should have bashed him, but what I'm saying is that it's very clear that she's not all there. And it's even scary to think about. She said she has kids. I'm going to shut up. I just don't understand, because I would never, ever, if it was one of my nieces or nephews, the first thing that I would be doing is apologizing. But that's what we see parents. Okay, remember, she went missing. The Brian Laundrie case. Remember how his parents constantly defended him and acted like he wasn't the problem when he clearly was? And here's the thing, unpopular opinion, I think that Brian and I can't think, Tito, thank you, God. Unpopular opinion, I think that they're abusive towards each other. I don't think that she was whooping his ass, but I do think that there was immaturity in the relationship, and I do think that she was trapped in some way, but I do think that they were mentally, emotionally abusing each other. And that's my opinion. I'm allowed to have that. But I do see the age of both of them. You do stupid stuff when you're in your 20s that you wouldn't necessarily do in your 40s, and that's just part of maturing. But I do think that there was emotional things going on in that relationship, and it was very wrong of him to kill Gabby. I'm not saying that it was, him mentally and emotionally abusing each other gave him any right to strangle and kill her. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that when it all went down, Brian's parents bashed Gabby. They were not helping at all with the investigation. They actually had this attitude that their son was holier than thou. God's sakes, the love letter from the mother was enough for me to just be, like, this is a weird family. They almost like worship their son, and he could do no wrong. When you are a parent and your child goes out and commits a heinous crime, a school shooting, that falls on you. That falls on you as a parent. It absolutely does. And I want to say that Ethan Crumbley's mother was a crack addict, but I could be wrong. I feel like Ethan Crumbley's sister, here, I'm going to cut these on, please be respectful. I feel like Ethan Crumbley's sister, was she the one who testified for him and said that they had a really hard upbringing and that his mother smoked crack? Like, it's sad. But that doesn't give you the right to go out here and kill somebody. I feel like Ethan Crumbley's mother was the one that was let's go to my all seeing information sites. Come on. So the workers of McDonald's are like walking around my truck and stuff. I don't know if y'all have been able to see that, but same shit, different day. No, that's not it. I'm thinking of somebody else. I must be thinking of the dude with the glasses. Who was the glass? It's not Ethan Crumbly. There was another one that had freaking glasses. This is Sandy Hook. Hold on one second. He was crazy looking and he had like acne and short hair. Hold on. His mother smoked dope with him. She was a crackhead, and the sister got on the stand and talked about how their mother smoked crack when she was pregnant with him, and how the whole home had been in disarray and dysfunction since she was a child. And the sister was 10 to 15 years older than the sibling, and he committed a shooting, and I cannot think of his name. He wears glasses. He kind of has that Jeffrey Dahmer look in him, and he had dark hair. His face was breaking out, and I can't think of who that is. Let me look. He was just sentenced. List of, oh Lord. Wikipedia has a list of school shootings and numbers. Y'all, I'm laughing because I'm uncomfortable. It's really sad. Virginia Tech. Sandy Hook. That's that dude. Who is that? 18-year-old Salvador Ramos entered the classroom, shooting the children and staff. This was in 20. Oh, that's Uvalde. They got them alphabetical. Parkland. Is that the one? Yes, Yes, Nicholas Cruz. Thank you, God. I was gonna get so like Nicholas Cruz. Okay, so his mother. His mother is the one that was horrible. And it was 5 years ago. It was the Parkland shooter. Watching his sister testify, you can see her testifying. I think it was the Law and Crime Network that had her testifying. It's heartbreaking to hear the conditions from the older sister of what this boy went through, and I have no doubt that he grew up in this is the sister. Here, let's listen to a little bit of it. I want y'all to hear how bad these conditions were. Let's get quick through. Before I was living with her, look how checked out she looks. 1998. With your mother in 1998. It's the time of my life where I lived with her, and Nicholas was developing in her. Wow. And she was consuming grape Cisco wine cooler. Sister, I'm gonna ask you about that stuff. Do you remember when in 1998 you went to live with Brenda? Yeah, I remember the day she picked. Okay. Do you know like about when it was? Was it in the winter, in the fall, in the summer? It was in the summertime, right before school started. A while, maybe right after school, elementary had ended, and I was going into 6th grade. Okay, so sometime during the summer. Okay. And what happened where were you living before you went to live with her in the summer? Before I went to live with her, I was living with Jody. See how checked out she is, man. Came to get you to live with her. I want to hear her talk about Nicholas.
Gas in the car, and as she was pumped the gas, she came around to the front. She did a cigarette and took a swig, and then she got in the car. I mean, when she went out there, that's when I noticed, something in me said, she looks pregnant. She has a baby bump. And she got in the car. And I asked her, are you pregnant? And she looked at me and she said, I got raped. And she took another swig. She looked at the radio. And we drove to the efficiency that I moved into that day with her. Do you know what was in the paper bag that she was drinking from? Cisco. Her favorite. Did anyone else live in there with you? No, at that moment it was just me, her, Nicholas. Okay, did anyone else come to live with you in the apartment? I begged my grandmother to come because Brenda was definitely out of control. I never really liked her. She was never my favorite.
That's her mom. Brenda is her mom.
But my grandmother came like 2 weeks later.
Y'all, it's just so sad.
Did you ever go to the doctor with her?
So sad. Like, why is it okay that children, I mean, clearly this woman has been through a lot. This is Nicholas's sister. She's talking about how she lived with Brenda. When she found out Brenda was pregnant, you know, she confronted Brenda about it because she had a baby in her stomach. It was Nicholas at the time. They're that many years apart. Okay, so it's just heartbreaking. But he slipped cracks, and so did she. It's very clear that these people had a hard life, but that doesn't mean that you can go kill people.
Yeah, there was
and I can promise you that little boy in Georgia ain't had no life like these kids had.
In this area. Right down the street there was a corner store.
She talks about how Nicholas went fed half the time, how their mother would smoke crack in the apartment with Nicholas, that their mother smoked crack when she was pregnant with Nicholas. Like, it's horrific. It's horrific. But that does not give you the right. People have lives. I've had a hard life. And, you know, you don't get to get out here and harm others because you're not happy with your life. Like, misery loves company. And that's exactly why we see these young kids out here doing this, because they're punks. They're punks. And just because you've been bullied doesn't mean that you get to go take lives. This is so sad. She goes on to talk about how he was premature.
Ever get arrested while you were living for that time?
Her name is Danielle Woodard, and you can go see her whole thing off of Fox News. If you want to watch it, it's a lot. It's really hard to watch because I can see how much pain she's in. I can see, you know, she keeps such a she keeps such a cold, heartless demeanor the entire time she's on the stand, except when it comes to Nicholas. She loves her brother, you know. She loves her brother probably more than anybody. And it's very clear that they have a special relationship. But one thing that she did not do is go on Facebook, Instagram, and try to make it seem like, you know, Nix was a victim in all of this. She's a very rational woman, and she knows that what her brother did is wrong, you know. And she also sees how his upbringing impacted ultimately what he would go on to do. How many people? 17 people. Nicholas Cruz was the Parkland shooter, and it says that he killed 17 people. Now, I remember when this happened, it was 2018. What the media didn't tell you is how horrible this juvenile's life was. Not that it matters. He killed people, but it matters. It shows it's a blueprint. It's a blueprint. Behavioral patterns, you know, it's the same And that leads a lot of these kids to commit the same crimes. Gray's mother, let's see what we can find about the mother of the Georgia shooting. Y'all, I swear, if I read through all of these Wikipedian shootings, I would probably cry. There's some of them dating back to 1764. Here is one in Delaware. The Enoch Brown massacre, perhaps the earliest shooting to happen in a school or college property in what would become the United States, was the notorious Enoch Brown school massacre during the Pontiac's War. 4 Delaware American Indians entered the schoolhouse near present-day Greencastle, Pennsylvania, and shot and killed schoolmaster Enoch Brown and 9 children. Only 2 children survived. However, this incident may only be considered a school shooting because only the teacher was shot while the other 9 victims were children. That's crazy. I can't read these. They'll make me upset. It's just so many. It's so scary. There's his mom. Apparently, she was recently arrested again. I forgot to tell y'all that. So yeah, his mother was recently just arrested not too long ago. Drugs, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong. Well, I don't understand. So this is, y'all, this is from the New York Post, and I just don't understand why people care what others think. Listen to this. The family of Georgia school shooting suspect Colt Gray is not white trash. They've got it in parentheses. He's not from a white trash family. They're just regular people. I swear to God, it says this. A relative of the teen's mother said Friday, that the boy was raised in a broken home. The perception that Gray, 14, comes from a low-income, uneducated family is simply not true, a maternal relative told the Post. Y'all, like, this boy just killed people and your family cares about the public thinks more than about the actual fucking victims? There needs to be an IQ test for giving birth. Like, seriously. And that's probably that aunt. How many people thinks that it's the aunt that went to the New York Post and said, "We're not white trash"? Who gives a fuck? Oh, God. I would rather be white trash than normal. Okay, let me tell you. It says, in fact, most of the relatives of the teen's troubled mother are middle class with college and good paying jobs. This is the news now. Quote, "We are not white trash." That's what everyone is saying about us, but we're not. We're just regular people. Colton Gray allegedly, no, he did. We know he did. We have evidence of him being confronted. Like, come on, man. Colt Gray allegedly gunned down. He this reporting is just infuriating. Colt Gray gunned down 2 classmates and 2 teachers at Appalachia High School on Wednesday morning. If y'all haven't seen, I'm sure y'all have, but this is what I was talking about. Do y'all see how, like, feminine the tweezed eyebrows, and the felt attempt at bleach blonde hair? Something was going on, and it's very similar to the Crooks kid. Apparently, I'm gonna see if we can find what he wrote about, but apparently they found writings of the teenager, and he was writing about how he didn't feel normal, or we're gonna see if we can find it. I would like to know. Caramel. I would like to know exactly what he was writing about. Somebody said it had to do with transgenderism. Now, I don't know if that's true. That's why we're going to look in a second. A former neighbor and landlord of the Grays, so the father and the son, told the Post the teenager came from a, quote, neglectful home, and that police were frequently visiting that home. Also, Child Protective Service agencies. It says the school shooter's mother, Marcy Gray, who has a lengthy rap sheet with domestic violence burst, is a bit of a black sheep on her side of the family. Now, that's what the relative explained. Now, once again, instead of family being rational people coming out here and making apologies to all of the victims and all of the people that lost their lives and all of the families that have been affected by this, instead of this family being rational, they are out here trying to convince us that they are like trash. It literally, listen, y'all gotta see this. It literally is like talking like, unlike the rest of her kin, she got involved in the wrong crowd. I mean, this freaking whole thing is just a joke. This is not reporting. This is, yeah, bull ass. Unlike the rest of her kin, she got into the wrong crowd, dated some bad guys, and often got in trouble. It says the children were always in dirty clothes and sometimes were hungry. And those are fake teeth. Oh, no, they're not. No, they're not. They're not. I thought they were. They look like dentures. Sorry. I mean, she could have been a pretty woman if she wouldn't have not been doing drugs. It says that she has a college degree. It does not matter. It does not matter. Your son committed murder. That college degree didn't help you raise your children, okay? It does not matter. We don't care. We don't care if she had a college degree. Like, I'm so sick of this. It's like, so someone, the neighbor, also said that Colt was living in constant abuse. So it looks like he had custody of both of his children and were raising them by himself. I'm sure that is not easy as a single father to do. That appears to be Colt when he was younger. And there looks to be a little girl. I have no doubt this is difficult, but when you took on that responsibility, sir, you should have took on the responsibility of talking to your children and coming up with solutions to the problems that they have as far as this bullying that he was facing in school. Like, so this is some of the footage that we do have when he was confronted. We have that on camera, and that is the gun that he had. And as you can see, that is not a small weapon. So I need to know how that gun got in here. How did that gun get in there? How did he get it, with him in this school? So it's a family member, along with Marcy's former landlord, said that the teen's mother had been struggling with drug and alcohol addiction. Despite family interventions, nothing seemed to work, and Marcy has been estranged from the rest of her family for some time by her own choice, according to her relative. It says Marcy's family is not particularly fond of her husband, Colin Gray. Colin, Jesus. The relative said that the father can't hold down a job and has not been a good example for his son. What told you that? How do these children slip through the cracks like this? It makes no sense to me. So he was arrested Thursday after it was revealed that he bought his son the AR-style rifle used in the shooting as a Christmas gift in December. And I was going to say that the other day, but I was like, I know that for sure. Because they were visited by the police in May or March of 23, and then all of a sudden 6 months later is when he had the gun. The first time that one was even spoke of was in January of this year. So to me, I was like, I wonder if he got it for Christmas, and it looks like he did. My AC. Something's going on with it. There's a like a winding noise. Colt's family now wants him to go through intensive therapy and take the medication they believe he needs. And I mean, this is just so crazy to me. They said ultimately they'd like to see him charged as a juvenile, rehabilitated, and have a shot at a somewhat normal future. Are y'all freaking for real? Y'all. Are they freaking? They are for real. They are dead ass for real. And the New York Post is giving them not only airtime but writing whole articles in support of it. It is crazy to me. This man, the boy, just killed 4 people and injured 9 more. How about never? How about never? You can get out of jail. Never. Y'all want to bring his lack of guidance and make it be like, oh, it was an accident. No, it was intentional. This was planned. He wanted to do this. Something is not right inside of him. And the family history shows that not a lot of them in the family are right. It doesn't matter if it's a white trash home or not. He still killed people. It's just crazy to me I mean, this is why this shit happens. I mean, look at who's having children. Look at who's having children. The aunt is crazy. The father can't hold down a job. The mother's in and out of jail on drugs. And the Department of Social Services and the Sheriff Department has been to this home multiple times. Nothing was done. You know why? Because he ain't at the age where they can make money off of him. He ain't at the age where he's still a baby, so they can't, teenagers, they don't find homes. Foster children that are it's very hard. It's babies that are wanted. And more than likely, he would have ended up, if the state would have took him, the state would have spent tons of money supporting him because he was already indigent, because his father was not working. So he would have been placed in a group home, a training school, all the places that I was placed in when I was taken from my parents, the same type of facilities, and individual, what is it called? It's called independent living facilities, group homes, foster homes, temporary foster homes, and training schools. I've been to all of them, and that's exactly what he would have been faced with if the state would have took it. But here's the thing: if the state would have took him, it would have cost the state money to house him in one of the facilities. So they don't want to do that. But here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. If the state would have took him, he never would have had access to firearms. So this would have happened. It's just crazy that this keeps happening, and it's the same type of families and the same warning red flags. And as everybody's like, well, we knew he was weird, but we didn't know he was that weird. What? Like, what? Like, you caught him peeking in your bedroom window and you didn't think that he was a R-wordist? Like, what? How did you not know that? Come on, Susie. You got to get that intuition firing, honey. Get that intuition firing. It says that in 2023 that the whole family was evicted from their prior address in Jefferson, Georgia. Okay, so the father and the mother were actually divorced, and she took the 2 younger kids while he and Colt moved in together. So I was wrong. So it seems like, well, y'all just said she's crazy and she can't stay out of jail and she's got a drug problem, but you let her take the kids? What is wrong with these people, y'all? Why can people like this have kids? Make it make sense. The whole family is crazy. The whole family is in and out of jail. Father can't keep a job. Mother on drugs. Son's plucking his eyebrows and dyeing his hair. Like, we're going to move on from this. I don't care where she graduated from. I would if she'd been clean for 10 years and been a good mother to her children, you know? Like, some people are never even presented with that opportunity, and here she is screwing it up. It's bullshit. Sorry. That little thing is aggravating me. Let's talk about some numbers, because you guys know that I love numbers. I really do. I really do love numbers. I'm trying to cut this back on. Let's talk about this. As of September 4th of 24, there have been 38 shootings in 2023, resulting in 63 deaths and injuries. In 2022, there was one of the deadliest years for school shootings, with 46 fatalities. And the Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, killed 19 students and 2 educators and injured more than a dozen others. This is not what I was looking for. Here we go. You have to go to, like, the Republican websites to find the freaking facts. All right, this is from Everytown for Gun Safety Support Fund. I've viewed this website before. I love it. In 2024, there were at least 139 incidents of gunfire on school grounds, resulting in 42 deaths and 91 injuries nationally. I'm going to show you guys this map. This is where they've been. Oh, hello. We're talking about school shootings. This is this year. Did that say this year? Yeah, 2024. Now, the red dots are going to be deaths, blue dots are going to be injuries, and the black dots are no deaths, or like the gray dots. That's crazy. This is the area I'm from originally. Actually, right up here. Well, right in the middle, and then the past 30 years up here, 25. So, yeah, not that many in California. These are all like, this is kind of like the Republican area too. Florida, Texas, South Carolina. I just found out that North Carolina has been voting like Democrat the longest. That's crazy to me. Y'all need to get it together, North Carolina. We're better than that. So you see a lot in the same areas. That can't be a coincidence. A lot of upstate right there. So scary. None in Hawaii? I hope that's Hawaii. Is it Alaska or Hawaii? I know it's Hawaii. I'm joking with y'all. I hope it is. It's definitely not Alaska. Everytown for Gun Safety Support Fund started tracking incidents of gunfire on school grounds in 2013 to gain a better understanding of how often children and teens are affected by gun violence at their schools and colleges, and in response to a lack of research and data on the issue. That's another thing. Just like women's health, we don't have enough data on why this is happening, who this is happening. I mean, we have a profile. That's about it. We have a profile. Children that are getting bullied, white male, rough upbringing, potentially from a divorce home with drug use in the family or in the home. Clearly there's a profile. We're seeing the same type of abused children doing this. I mean, these children, as far as like this one and Nicholas Cruz, in my opinion, they are abused children that, and I agree with the crazy aunt that people hurt people. Yes, I agree. That's why you have to teach children better. You have to teach them. And your family clearly was not doing that. It says over several years of tracking, this data has shown us that gunfire on school grounds takes many forms and mirrors the problem of gun violence in the U.S. And I agree that there's a huge issue with gun violence, and I think that it really, we're going to hate me, but I don't care. Time and time again, we see these children getting guns that they should have never had access to. So if you don't want it to be an act of Congress to get a gun permit, how about you lock up your firearms? It's as simple as that. Prevent your child from having access to these guns. But that's not the case. We see these firearm owners that are completely negligent in the storage of that firearm. And I've witnessed this with people that I dated that had kids. How dangerous. How dangerous. They all have this mad attitude. My kid would never. My kid would never. I mean, at this point, this is happening so much. The 6-year-old in Virginia that shot his teacher, that was a gun that was left out for him to a 6-year-old. Like, I mean, I'm glad that they're locking the parents up, but also this kind of we need maybe new charges, maybe add a charge for negligence in the storage of the firearm. I don't know. Maybe there is a charge. Does anybody know if there's already a? Yeah, exactly. Yes, it was an AR-15 style rifle. It was, yes. They haven't released exactly what the weapon was, but yes, it was. You can see it on the ground and see the stock on the darn thing, like the what do they call it? Like a bump stock. It goes against your shoulder. I could be wrong. Listen, but you could see how big that gun was. How the hell did he get that in there? Like, yo, it just doesn't make sense. But also, there needs to be absolutely some kind of charge for parents when they are not storing firearms properly. And they need to go to jail, plain and simple. You are putting everybody's life at risk because you're negligent, because you're lazy, because you don't want to take 2 seconds to put on something, because you could afford the $2,000 gun, but you can't afford a $2 lock. Like, lock them up. Lock them all up. Like, I'm sick of it because it's the same students with the same problems from the same background committing the same type of offenses, and the storylines are all the same. Well, I didn't know he was going to do it. I mean, I left the gun out for him to do it, but I didn't know he was going to do it. What would have made me think? I mean, the FBI showing up to my house last year would never make me think that he might actually do something like this. I mean, are you stupid or are you just negligent? Because there's no middle ground. You genuinely wanted this to happen and you set everything up in motion for it to happen, for the dominoes to fall, for people to die, or you're just completely stupid and you're that stupid that you don't have any common sense to foresee what could potentially happen. Are you negligent or are you stupid? I mean, listen, it's just pathetic. And now there are parents out here that were raising their kids right, that don't even get to have a future with their children. They'll never get to see their children again because of this family. It says every year more than 4,000 children and teens are shot and killed, and over 7,000 more are shot and wounded. An estimated 3 million children in the U.S. are exposed to shootings per year. Firearms are the leading death in children and teens. Witnessing shootings, whether in their schools, their communities, or homes, can have a devastating impact. Children exposed to violence, crime, and abuse are more likely to abuse drugs and alcohol, suffer from depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder, fail or have difficulties in school, and engage in criminal activity. So crazy. Ouch. That spot in my seat where this spot right here hurts. And this one is doing it on this side too. It hasn't come all the way through the seat yet, but thank you. They're real. I'm lying. I went to Columbia and got implants. I'm joking. I don't think you can get eye plant. Can you get I don't think you can get eye implants. I think that's impossible. But I do have people ask me at work all the time. They're like, "Oh my God, are your eyes real?" And I'm like, "No. I just flew in from Columbia. They're implants." Like, because all the other girls in the club have fake everything. So, no, actually not tonight. The club I'm working at, the girls are natural. But yeah, usually in the strip clubs, the girls got the fake butts and boobs and stuff, so they're always flying from somewhere, getting something done. So it says roughly 3/4. It says 76%, roughly 3/4 of school shooters under the age of 18 got the gun from their home. What am I telling y'all? What I tell y'all? 76%. That's huge. That is huge. Start locking up the whole damn family. Roughly 3/4 of the school shooters under the age of 18 got the gun from their home or the home of a close relative. Listen, I think the older generation, they grew up around firearms and things was done differently back in the 1940s. Listen, I'm saying this because I have personal experience with people like this. And I think that, like, you know, it was just the normal to have guns laying around, okay? It's not anymore. It's not. Because of children stealing guns and killing other children. Lock the damn guns up. Like, if you ain't learned by now that you are part of the problem, you're probably too irresponsible to be a firearm holder. Okay? Plain and simple. It's plain and simple. Like, it's just, it says in every town, hold on. We're also seeing that when these shootings are committed, that the shooters were current or former students of the school that they shoot up in 75% of these incidents. So when we have a mass shooting, there's a 75% chance that whoever committed it went to that school. Guns used by shooters under the age of 18 come from the home usually. A U.S. Secret Service analysis of nearly 40 years of school violence found that roughly 3/4 of school shooters' guns came from a home or a close relative. School shooters nearly always exhibit advanced warning signs. You think? The FBI showing up on your front porch? In all incidents of targeted school violence, which is 100%, there were warning signs that caused others to be concerned. 100%! Everybody knew he was weird. Nobody said anything. Well, apparently somebody did, because somebody called the FBI. No. This little snot over here is threatening to shoot up a school. You need to go check on him. And the FBI went out there, but they did not do their due diligence, okay? Is that how you say that? Due diligence? Due diligence? I think so. School gun violence has a disproportionate impact on students of color. 2 and 3 incidents of gunfire on school grounds from 2013 to 2021 occurred in schools where one or more racial and or ethnic minorities constituted a majority of the students' population. That's fucked up. Even more. So it says 4.6 million children in the United States live in homes with at least one gun that is loaded and unlocked. 4.6 million. Y'all, we got to do better. Skylar, I think that, unfortunately, I think that you might be onto something that is correct, because the past 2 shooters, well, this kid and the crooks who tried to take a shot at, who took a shot at Trump and tried to kill him, both of them outwardly, you can tell, were kind of struggling with their identity. Also, the other Christian school shooter, the female, y'all remember that? That was really rare. It was only the 3rd instance that a woman had done something like that in the whole entire United States. She was part of the LGBTQ plus too. Hold on one second. I think that you're onto something with that. And I'm not saying that every school shooter is part of the LGBT, but I am saying, how much does this have to do with what we're seeing? Because to me, there is no coincidences in life like this. I'm trying to figure out her name. Does anybody remember her name? The woman that... Yeah, if you can get a gun, you all need to get a gun. But you need to learn how to use it. And don't, keep it locked up. Please. I'm trying to find Audrey Hale. Yes, that was her. So she was part of the LG. Is that it? No, that's not her. Damn it. Or was that her? You know what? That might be her. Yes, Audrey was her name. And that was, she was a 28-year-old. And it was the Nashville shooting. So you see what I'm saying? There's a theme. I don't know. I don't know if it has anything to do with it, but Audrey Hale went into a Christian school and was killed when she was confronted with a rifle. They shot her to death and killed her. And it's very rare that a woman even commit a crime like that. It's so scary. It says an estimated 4.6 million children live in a household with at least one loaded and unlocked firearm. Secure storage and CAP laws hold gun owners accountable if a child can or does access a firearm that is not securely stored. Since the vast majority of school shooters under the age of 18 acquire guns from the home, secure storage is an essential ingredient for preventing gun violence in schools. Now I'm glad to know what to call it. So it's called secure storage. Now, let me click on it. Now, this is policies and practice to reduce gun violence. And it says that you're supposed to, there is an estimated 393 million civilian owned firearms in the United States, and more than 1/3 of homes contain at least one gun. Responsible gun owners can make our homes and communities safer by storing their firearms unloaded and locked, with ammunition kept in a separate place to prevent access by children and other people who are at risk of harming themselves and others. Research shows that these storage practices can play a vital role in reducing the risk of gun violence, particularly among children due to unintentional shootings and gun suicides. The bottom line is this: storing firearms unloaded, locked, and separate from ammunition prevents access and saves lives. 3-year-old Braden Heath found his mother's handgun in the living room of their home in Anchorage, Alaska. Braden was playing with the gun when it discharged, shooting him in the head. He was taken to a local hospital and pronounced dead later that day. It happens every day, actually. Yeah. And that's just one example they gave us, but it happens every day. Where's my vape? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Y'all, I've been sitting here minding my business. Well, damn. I guess I'm just going to have to find one because I don't know what the frick. I'm always losing something, ain't I? It's the ADHD in me. My ADHD be killing me. Oh, it's under my other one. There it is. I'm not going to open that in. I've got 2 left. All right. Let's get back to it. So it's called the Extreme Risk Law. This policy empowers family members, law enforcement, and in some states, educators to petition a civil court to temporarily prevent a person from accessing guns. This is important. It's called the Extreme Risk Law. Allows people in crisis times to get help that they need. As of April of 23, 19 states and the District of Columbia have enacted extreme risk laws. These laws are a vital tool for law enforcement in cases where a person who poses a risk to a school has access to firearms. So if little Jimmy over here is in class with you and little Jimmy keeps saying that he's going to shoot up a school, and you go home and tell your parents knows that this child has access to firearms, something can be done about it. It seems like they have laws in place to help people not be a threat to other people if they know that the circumstances could lead to something that like this. It says, now I don't know if I agree with this, but I kind of do. It looks like they're trying to raise the minimum age to purchase semi-automatic firearms to 21. The policy can block gun sales to teenagers. Data shows that 18 to 20-year-olds commit gun homicides at a triple rate of adults 21 and older. Yeah, gee, I wonder why. Could it be that their brain is not fully developed yet? Yeah, it won't be for like another 5-7 years. Yeah. So I kind of agree with this. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of crazy that we ask 18-year-olds to do what they do when they're technically still children. I mean, emotionally, mentally, physically, they're children. And we put so much on them at such an early age. It's kind of sad. It says requiring background checks on all gun sales can prevent teenagers and prohibit persons from taking advantage of the background checks loophole, which allows people to buy firearms online or at gun shows with no background check. They can do that? I didn't know that you could even do that. That little thing is getting on my nerves, y'all. The air conditioner noise. Whoa, there's a whole subreddit on how to buy a gun. It's actually easy to purchase a gun online with no permit or license. I did so about 14 years ago, but it's nearly impossible to take possession of the gun without undergoing a background check or if the state requires it, a permit. 2 years ago, I went online and purchased an action rifle, paid for it, not an entire rifle. Hold on. I don't understand these people. Y'all. So this guy says March of this year, he says, I bought mine online. They simply are not delivered to my door. I have them delivered to my federal firearms licensee who runs a background and follows all state and federal laws before I can collect them. So it looks like that you can purchase them online, but it sounds like he did it the legal way. Somebody else said January of this year, not hard. Go to any sports goods site, pick one, and you put in your credit number. Congratulations, you bought a gun. No permit or license required. And then he says, oh, wait, you want to actually take possession of that gun? Well, then you have to go and get it from a licensed FFL in your state, and they will enforce federal and state laws. Okay. So it seems like you can't just mail it to your house. If you're a federal firearms license person, like, then you can. But has anybody ever bought a gun off of the internet? I wanted to see if you could do it. They're saying that it's kind of impossible, but I don't know. Yeah, you do not need a permit in Georgia to carry a gun. They still do a background check, I'm sure, though, right? Yes. And it's all federal. It says federally licensed firearm dealers. Federal law requires these dealers to conduct a background check on the purchaser before selling the firearm. Gun shops, if you buy a gun from the gun shop, you must pass a background check. So that's really all I care about. I mean, unless, you know. And the majority of people that get guns, they never even use them, you know? It's a freak accident that your kid steals it. I mean, it's not a freak accident. It's your fault if your kid steals your gun and shoots up a school. It's the parents' fault. I mean, the kids too, but it also, the responsibility is on all of them. On all of them. Now, I'm trying to figure out if Audrey Hill was a girl or a boy. Because I remember when it happened, they would not tell us the sex of this person. Do y'all remember that? It was really weird. They wouldn't tell us, you know, anything about it, about her history with the school. And it says Audrey Hill, a 28-year-old former Covenant student who killed 6 people at the school Monday, carefully planned the attack. Hill's parents, who lived with the shooter, said Hill was under a doctor's care for an emotional disorder. Now, this is from the Nashville Press. Audrey had various writings and maps of the school, as well as drawings of how to enter the school. This is a common theme. How do you not know that a gun is inside of a bag? Once again, it says police know that Hill left the home Monday morning with a red bag and that Hill's mother did not know that there was weapons inside. Y'all, I don't know how you can be that stupid, because we all know the size of a gun. While the shooter's gender identity is unclear, police told CNN that Hill was assigned female at birth and used male pronouns on social media. So there we have it. So it was rare for a woman to do this. Less than 20 minutes before the shooting, Hill sent an eerie Instagram message to one of her former basketball teammates. She's, quote, still trying to process it all. So one of her lifelong friends who sports with her and knew her when they were kids told the news, actually a Nashville radio host, that she hadn't had a relationship with Audrey in a while since they were children and has only ever referred to Audrey as she. So one can only assume that this new he thing was something that was new in maybe the past year or something, because pictures of Audrey the year prior, she did not have short hair like that. Like, she wasn't looking like a stud. You know what I mean? And so apparently the Instagram message was left at 9:58 a.m., which read, quote, one day this will make more sense. I've left more than enough evidence behind, but something bad is about to happen. Now, that's what Audrey Hill wrote on her Instagram before the shooting. So weird. And they still never updated us on this and told us anything of why this girl did this. Everybody described her as shy and quiet and kind of just like, what the frick? Y'all, these pop-ups, I'm so done. Why, So it said a neighbor with the family told ABC that Audrey lived at the family's home with Hill's parents, Audrey's parents. And they described the family very religious. So I'm sure Audrey didn't like that, being part of the LGBTQ plus. I'm sure that her parents were not. I don't know, maybe they were understanding Christians. Who thinks that there's any of those? Jesus Christ. Look at this. This was just in 23. This was just in 23. All the school shootings that they had last year. So these are the locations. We do see a lot more in like the southern area and also just the East Coast in general, which is surprising because these are where most of the guns are. Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, they own a lot of guns over there. Okay. Yeah, the Utah. There's a lot of farmland out here in the desert down here. Those people own guns, tons of guns. I'm wondering why we're only seeing it, I guess, in the most populated areas. That makes sense. It's just really sad. You would think by now that they would have implemented some kind of system to prevent this from happening. They would have did something, but they haven't. They just do more drag shows. More drag for everybody. Everybody get naked. Everybody give orgies. I'm gonna go, y'all. I got so much to do. We'll talk in a little while. I need to get ready for work. I'm really wondering what that noise is. Listen. You hear it? I don't know where it's coming from. When I cut the air off, I'm not doing it. Y'all hear that? It's so annoying. It only happens when my truck is running. It sounds like tiny little gears moving. I don't know what it is, but it's probably something else broke, per usual. But yeah, we'll talk in a little while. I'll see y'all. Y'all be safe. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I will probably resume Monday talk at 2 because this weekend I gotta work. Sucks. I don't know. We'll see if I have a good. I hope so. I hope so. I love you guys. Talk later. Y'all be safe out there and pray for me because God knows I need it, and I'm praying for you guys. Bye, y'all.